Do you ever have a task that lingers on your to-do list because you assume it will require so much planning and prep and that you keep putting it off? That's this video. I have not obviously made a video in several weeks, more than a month. I don't even know. And I kept thinking I need to write a list and what am I going to talk about and what books do I need to have handy to show things and down shots and then I decided just turn on the camera and talk and see what happens. So fingers crossed. We are almost 2 weeks into October now and things have been crazy. You guys. So crazy, but good. Lots of changes already. And with regard to homeschool and our house, for those of you that have been here before, welcome back. For those of you that are new, I'm Emily, 2 homeschooled kiddos, 3rd and 6th grade. We are living in and through a major renovation. My beautiful new bedroom is where I sit because it is the one place that is actually comfortable and not dark as a dungeon. We have a space in the house that we will be using for a school space. It is currently gutted, but if you look at a previous video, I show kind of its current state. But since then, there has been some progress made. Our siding person has shown up and started working on siding. So windows in that weird little extra room that we have been filled in. We've had electrical run, so we'll have ceiling lights and new outlets. It's all very exciting. And the outside is being covered with Tyvek. I think this is what being an adult means. I got emotional over Tyvek. Actual moisture in the eyes over Tyvek. Welcome to adulthood. So things in the house are progressing. Tomorrow, my husband is going to spray foam that room and the closet because they're all exterior walls. So we can be warm. It's getting cold up here. We live in the middle of New York State and it went from a very, very hot beginning of fall to feeling like winter. All right, that's a bit dramatic, but I don't really like the cold. So I would like to have walls back. Not having walls is kind of a bummer. So for those of you that care zero about my life and my house, school. School has started out great. We have already taken a week off because we were so excited to go visit friends that live in the Boston area, and other friends that had moved away flew up to visit. So we had a super fun sleepover for 5 nights, and we had an absolute blast. We also did some learning while we were there. We went to Salem. We visited the Satanic Temple and all of the shops in Salem. We saw the memorial to those that were put to death because they were convicted of being witches. Before we left, we read the Who Is and What Was series. They have a What Were the Salem Witch Trials book. And we read that, so it was great to give them just a real basic overview of what happened, so they had some idea of what we were getting into. We went into Cambridge. They had this really cool science fair where there were many different tents set up, tables set up, where the kids could go and do different activities and learn different things and see different things. So that was super awesome. We went to the beach and stayed late enough that the tide went out. We got to investigate tide pools and find hermit crabs and other little critters and snails and barnacles. and just play and have fun. And it was chilly. But these children do not care. And they got in the ocean and they made me cold just looking at them. But they had an absolute blast. And that was our trip. So while there was lots of learning, there wasn't home curriculum stuff. So we took a week off from that. In fact, when we got back, this is why I've been so busy, the day after we got back was an 11th birthday in our house. And of course, we were all tired from the drive and did some celebrating, so we didn't have school that day. And then we had to prepare for a Harry Potter party. Because as you know, when a witch or wizard turns 11, they get their letter from Hogwarts. And we had a party, and I love Harry. While I do not love all of the views of its author, the story is magical. It was magical for me. It's been magical for my kids. And there were costumes, you guys. Let's see what's up. That is a Gryffindor scarf. Oh God, I need to do my manicure. This is a wig, and that is a pink pillbox hat. And that is a pink tweed dress. Because, sorry for my hand, I was Umbridge. Needless to say, that was all of our time off. And you're wondering how school has gone and how our curriculum plans have gone. A lot of things have gone really well. A couple of things changed before we even started or need to change moving forward. Let me start with one thing that's going great is my new approach to checklists for my kids. Last year we did a weekly list so they could see everything that they had Monday through Friday. For some reason, this year I'm doing a daily list. They each got to pick a notebook. This is my daughter's. And they get a daily checklist of everything they need to do. And somehow a daily list feels less daunting than a weekly list. I'm not sure why. As they go through all their work during the day, they make a pile of things I need to check. That's my homework. And as I go through and I check, I note in my planner what they did, sort of topically, a planning from behind kind of approach. And then I write down their checklist for the next day. So it just, I don't know, maybe I'm working this out as I'm talking to you. I think because when I'm planning out the whole week, I feel committed to certain things. And when I do it daily, if a particular math page is really hard and we decide to cut it from 3 pages down to 2, it's easier for me to adjust. Instead of feeling like I'm committed to that week's plan. So even though I do plan the week ahead, because I haven't put it all down for them, it still feels like a little more flexible. That might be why I like it. So in here, I started out by printing on sticker paper. On their list, they had homework assignments, school assignments, and household chores. The household chores part in here is not working. Total failure. We need to go back to a system where I have those things on the wall or on the refrigerator or something for them to check. They do have things that they are expected to just help with because they live in this house. And as a member of the house, that's what we do. But they do also earn an allowance so they can learn how to manage money and save for their own things. So I can't keep track of that if that's in here, and then I'm flipping back and forth, and it's just hard. And the kids don't go back to check it off in here. So that's got to change. Sorry for my sniffles. I don't know what happened. probably haven't vacuumed my bedroom in a million years, and there's cat hair. So then after those first few weeks, I just went to writing it down because I ran out of sticker paper. But it's been fine both ways. But writing their assignments down in here, both the things we are doing together and the things that they have to do individually, has been great. How have I been doing with my planner? Great question. I've actually done a pretty great job of keeping track of attendance, which is a thing I've never really done before. My state does require a certain number of days of attendance, but because, as homeschoolers, you know, because you are learning things even when you are at the beach, it's not an issue. So I've never really kept formal track of it, but it looks so pretty when I color it in. So I've been doing that pretty well, and it's easy enough to catch up at the end of the week if I've skipped a few days. I have not entered any books in their book logs in this planner. I still want to. And I'm hoping that's a thing I can catch up with if I just spend some time now that we're home and there's no parties to plan and things have settled a bit. Curriculum progress pages are embarrassingly empty. I might go through and update those too. I haven't given up complete hope yet, but the rest of this planner is working out beautifully for me. Our monthly stuff, of course, but the weeklies, I actually bought myself a little Sprocket printer and did some journaling. Look at me. I'm so great. I was talking to my husband. Is this a thing I think I'm going to keep forever or going to look through as a scrapbook, memento, something of that nature? I don't know. So is printing expensive photos to put in here worth it? I don't know about that long term, but honestly, it makes me kind of slow down and reflect on what we're doing. And I think there's a lot of value in that. So I'm going to keep doing it. But I've been doing that on the weekly overview pages. What did I just show you? Did I show you anything? No, I didn't show you anything private. There's nothing that exciting in here. So you can see tomorrow, we haven't done yet, is Friday, and I just have history written down, their pages, so I remember what pages I wanted them to do and what lessons. And then after the fact, I go in and I write out what they did. For history, I just wrote history. But after what we read today, I went back and I wrote down exactly what things we discussed. So we talked about the Haudenosaunee Confederacy's contribution to our Constitution, the founding of the Jamestown colony. That's the thing we're getting into. So I write down more specifically what we're discussing after the fact in case we don't actually get to it on that day. So I have both things planned ahead and flexibility, if that makes any sense. All right, so we've been through life update, basic planning and structural wins, curriculum. Math is going well. It's been going pretty well for us for a couple of years. We have Math Mammoth, and it works well for them. It works well for me, and we just chug along through it. So that's going pretty well. Essentials in writing. We are doing the more abbreviated version for my older kiddo because we haven't focused a lot on formal writing and paragraph writing. So we went down a couple of levels, but are doing their accelerated pacing. He still doesn't love writing, but where he used to completely freeze when expected to write a journal entry. I thought because he didn't love it, having a little more freedom to write about things that he was interested in. I would say write about cars, write about other things you like doing, Minecraft, I don't know, that would give him the freedom to make it what he wanted. Too much freedom. Because of that, he froze and didn't know what to write. So this program walks you through the steps, the whole writing process, and because it's giving him a more structured question to respond to and format to fill, that's working better for him. So now I actually just the other day said I wanted him to write something in his journal. The kid is obsessed with cars. All he wanted for his birthday were the Lego Speed Champions, and all he talks about are these cars and modifying these cars. So I wanted to use that interest to make something he doesn't like a little more interesting. And I wanted him to write a journal entry about his favorite car and why it's his favorite. Came up with some really great examples. The essentials in writing and that structure for him as a kid who does not like to write and doesn't know what to write when he sits down is really helping. So that's great. For my youngest, she likes to be creative in that way. She likes to be creative in every way, but she doesn't mind writing. And I think this is helping her to improve her own creative. Like, she has to fit inside the box when doing this assignment, but she's learning the tools that she can then use when doing her own free writing. So that's pretty great too. History, we are doing a crazy blend of History Quest and Build Your Library 5 for US history. And it's going well. I feel like my follow through is better this year than it has been previously. So we haven't done a ton because we start in September and then we took a bunch of time off for our trip. So we haven't gotten through a lot, but I feel like we are chugging along and they are understanding. They're able to talk about these things. Michael Clay Thompson. So far, we've only done the practice sentences and breaking down the 4-level sentence analysis, which they are absolute rock stars at. My husband does not remember any of that stuff from school, if he even learned it. And they get such a kick out of teaching him all of the types of words and parts of sentences. So that's pretty great. We've also started reading through Building Language, which is the vocabulary portion of that. But we're just getting started. So not much feedback yet. For science, we've done lots of things that I'm not responsible for. So those are great. We've done some library programs, some STEAM club events, which were okay. We also found a Lego League team, which I'm very excited about, so that'll help fulfill some of that for my older kiddo. And co-op classes. So I don't have to plan a thing. You guys outsource co-ops. Great. At home, we are doing Science Mom. We started the Earth Science. We've done a few of the videos. I know some people said they're long. We just kind of skip the end part where they'll ask the questions because my kids are over it by then. But the information part, they're really enjoying so far. And the notes pages that are printed out are a really great summary. And it's working out well for both of them. So we've only done a few weeks. So it starts out with air and the atmosphere, layers of the atmosphere. And so I think the upcoming video or 2 from now is about weather. So I also bought Waldock Way's new extreme weather unit study. I've never used anything from them before, so we will see. In looking through it, there is a list of books, and then there's really cool like games and activities, and I like that it goes for little kids, which I don't have, through, so you could use it for many ages. One thing I wish it did have was for each topic specific pages. So it gives you a list of books to get, like reference books to use through the whole thing. It would make my life easier if it said, you're learning about tornadoes. Tornadoes are on page 15 and 16 in this book. And it doesn't have that, which would streamline things for me, I think, a little bit, and probably make me dive in more quickly. I've been avoiding it. So hopefully next time I update you, I'll have some feedback on that. And we were going to do Logic of English Essentials for spelling. I canceled this plan. I learned about something new and bought it before we even started. I bought Mega Words. They're level 1. It is not grade level. I don't know how many there are. But they suggest that everyone start at level 1. So I'm doing that with my older kiddo who struggles with spelling. And that is something we just started this week, so I'm not into it far enough to give you any real feedback. The basic skill stuff is going great. They're the way we are looping through sort of those extra workbooks with spelling skills for my daughter, some science things, paragraph editing for my son, all of those skills-based workbooks that you don't need to do every day. Each day I tell them to pick 2 because they only take a few minutes each. Geography, things like that. And they have a jar and they pick one out, put it in the done jar, and they've been cycling through, and that's going really well. So for the most part, we're doing okay. There's nothing that I need to throw out yet. There's nothing that's not working. Where have I been failing? I haven't done nearly enough art. And I haven't started our music. And I'm so excited to do the Torchlight Art of Rock and Roll that I bought. In the coming weeks, now that things have settled a little bit for us, although aren't things always busy? Because the beginning of November is my 40th birthday and I am going away. I am leaving my people for 3 nights and I'm spending 3 nights in a hotel by myself. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm irrationally excited. There will also be a spa day. I'm a very lucky woman to be able to do this. That'll be another several days of school missed, and then there's Thanksgiving, and then there's Christmas, and then. So things are always busy. So I need to prioritize those things, art and music. I know they're important for my kids. They're important to me. So I need to do better. But we're finding a rhythm for my more grown-up kids, and that feels good. That feels good. Some days feel long. Last thing that's going well is my switching of our group subjects from the afternoon to the morning. We used to do their individual things first. Math, language arts, all of their skill stuff that they basically do on their own and ask for help when they need it. That used to come first, and then in the afternoon we would do our group history reading and our science lessons, and I was already mentally done by that point in the day. So we've switched that to being first. But that change in our daily structure has been wonderful. I think that's why my follow-through has been better this year already. So we're going to keep going with that. We're going to keep going with our skills things that we've got pretty much dialed in. And I need to figure out how to get a little better at the unit study things I want to include, and art. Art. I love glitter bombers. I love our art program. I need to just do it now. Do it. So that's it for my update. If you've made it this long, congratulations, you win a prize. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. There's a huge buzzy fly in here, and hopefully it doesn't come close to the camera and you can hear it.